Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to episode 134 of the Sporting160EN podcast. I'm your host, Sam Fonseca. Feel free to follow me down there. Can never get used to which side it is on the camera. Definitely down there this time. But we have got a jam-packed episode for you today. But before we get into it, let me introduce my colleagues and co-host. First of all, Mr. Danny Saldana. Let me just ask you, Danny, did anything special happen on Friday for you, or just an average day?
Honestly, I closed a pretty big mortgage, which helped me out of my sales goal. Aside from that, nothing special, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, Chris? How was your Friday evening?
It was good. I went out with some friends, so yeah, it was a good night. But on Friday afternoon, though, I had a good time doing something else. For us, it was in the afternoon.
Forget that.
Yeah, Great result. Flashbacks of like 15-16 at the luge. It was 3-0. Kind of got spoiled at the end. As we were just talking about, could have been spoiled earlier, honestly, but just ended them.
Yeah, I mean, we did get any Twitter questions, so we can go straight in if I click the right screen. It was Sporting versus Benfica at the Luz. We beat them 3-1. Teams as followed: Adan, Inacio, Neto, Fadal. Neto, obviously, with Coates. I think before last episode, he was still positive. He was still negative, and I think we were scheduled for him to go in. So that was a sort of late replacement. Pedro Porro, Ugarte, Matheus Nunes, Matheus Rice, Sarabia, Pedro Gonzalez, and Paulinho. Matheus Nunes, man of the match. For goal point, Esgaio, Thiago Tomás, Nuno Santos, and Bragança came on. Danny, let me go to you first. What were your overall thoughts on the game? And just, talk us through what was going through your head. 1-0, 2-0, 3-0.
Yeah. It was lights out performance. Like you said, it reminds me a lot of 15-16 where we went to the luge and absolutely destroyed. Yeah. We destroyed them, actually. Fair enough. I'll go with those words because we were precise. That first half especially, we crushed them. They kept most of the possession, but had one shot on target. Whereas we could have went 2-0 up and even 3-0 up had Potts attempt on net not hit the post and maybe hit the side netting. Unreal. Just to know, like you mentioned, no Coates, who's been easily our most important player of the this last season, but the last 2 seasons. No Pelinha, who you can easily say is the spine of our team as well. Both of those players. Ugarte coming in, lights out. I was not expecting. I like Ugarte. I was expecting a good performance from him. Was not expecting this. Amazing performance from Ugarte. I was actually watching some of the stream on what's that American Mexican channel called? Is it Goal TV with the fucking drunk Goal
TV.
Drunk TU commentator on there. Shout out to whatever his name is. The guy was like salivating over Ugarte's performance, especially in the first half. He was incredible.
He's probably like Uruguayan or something, that guy. So he's just rubbing his hands together, thinking about the future.
It could be that because he brought
up being 7 beers deep as well.
Easily 7, if not more, bro. He had bare tequila shots in his system at that point. There was points in the game where like he's not even commentating the game. He's just like making like noises, like "Ooh, Sporting! Oh my gosh!" And he was calling Ugarte Manu, like they were like boys.
You're boys. I guess that's his nickname. People just call him Manu. Yeah, all right. He knows.
News to me, but hey, man, they're on a first name basis. What can I say? Dude, that goal from Sarabia, nasty. What a ball by Pot. Paulinho, easily his best performance in a Sporting shirt, in my opinion. Scored 2 goals in my eyes. And that chip, the goal that actually counted, just like a slight chip over Odi, was amazing. Fadal's early tackles, like Lauren's saying right now, on João Mario, right to set the tone, was perfect. Dude. Nothing more can be said. Christian, I'll let you take the points that we were saying just before the show because you're entirely right on that. But when it came to being clinical, Sporting was just that. Benfica held most of the possession, did very little with it. Right at the end, they had that one goal that was offside, an eye for an eye, I guess. A tight offside, though, to be fair to them. And then, of course, their PZ goal we fell asleep. There was no Fadal. Our back line was basically Inacio Neto and like a bunch of wing backs. So, whatever. Let them have that goal. I can care less. Best performance of the season, and I hope Sporting looks at that performance when it comes to big games, because we need to replicate these now. That's all I gotta say for now.
Yeah, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, it was a super efficient performance. Like Danny mentioned, the Sarabia goal, like to get like a banger finish like that, get on the board early, like in the what was it, like the 10th minute or something.
Yep.
That helps so much. And like honestly, like we were like I thought it was just gonna be like a high paced, like high energy game, just like back and forth the whole time, potentially like high scoring, like a 4-3 maybe. But like after like 15 minutes, like it became kind of clear that we were just like on top of them. We were creating the better chances. We hit, like Danny said, we hit the post. Paulinho's marginally offside, but we still have the thrill of feeling like we go up 2-0. So like going into half, it really felt like we were definitely on top, but felt like we were, we deserved the 2-0. And then right at the start of the second half, like it could have potentially been a different game if Benfica had scored the one of the two chances that they had before we scored our second goal. I think one of them hit the crossbar, and I think that there was two good chances right before half. One of them definitely hit the crossbar. And then, as Danny mentioned later on, they had a goal marginally rolled out for offside, 6 centimeters. I think ours was a good call, 28 centimeters. Like you could kind of tell he was ahead a little bit. Their goal, 6 centimeters. To get a goal like that ruled out at the Luz, it really shows you the times really are changed. They haven't fully changed, but they're in the process of changing. Because, I just feel like you wouldn't, even with the VAR, you don't really see that call in the past. Yeah, I think this one is pretty clear and obvious to me.
And even still, 28 centimeters is a lot.
It's sus. Under 10 or under 5, under 10, definitely under 5 is when it gets the most sus. Theirs was 6, and it was kind of sus. Maybe if that goes in and then they score their easy goal, the last minute is hotter. We were just winners. 3-1 feels relatively fair. Maybe 3. They deserved a 3-2, but I think we were just winners in the end. We just created more opportunities. We're more efficient, and I think just had the best individual performances were on our side as well. These types of games at the end of the season, the math usually comes down to the points that you lose in the other games, because these games are all usually draws. So to get 3 points out of one of them is huge. So I'll take an away win at the Luz, which happens like once every 5-6 years at this rate. So I will take them when I can get them in any competition.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want to piggyback on too much of what you guys have said, but it was domination from I would say minute 1 for minute 90. The only chance I remember them having is the offside one, which was ruled out, obviously, and the Pizzi goal at the end, which I'll give him credit, it was a great finish, but I think it was just tired legs on our side. I think we pressed on them from minute 0 to minute 90. It was just like the 92nd, 93rd. They were all just absolutely shattered. So it's understandable why you let such like a bad defense, a bad defensive goal go in. But just a shout out to Matheus Nunes. What a fantastic performance. That midfield pivot of Nunes and Ugarte was absolutely fantastic. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch much of Ugarte last year because I didn't watch a lot of him in the Cal, but absolutely incredible. Probably, I mean, I don't think anyone was expecting that in absence of Paulinho. There wasn't one player who I thought was average or was bad. I thought they all were fantastic. Even the Thiago Tomas cameo, I put it in the group chat. That was a very good cameo. He was pressing Otamendi, like got the ball off him many times, didn't stop running, and like that was like, okay. I was like, I'll give the boy credit. He's done well there, and I mean that's what he was brought on to do by Mourinho, clearly, just to wind up Otamendi, just to put a bit more pace up there. But yeah, it was a great performance all round. Fadal, that tackle, like you said, was fantastic. Matheus Nunes again, big game player. Goal against Benfica last year. I think he scored against Braga last year as well in tight games. And I think he got a goal and an assist for that Paulinho. That run from him on that goal was fantastic. And like Danny said, Paulinho's finish, both of the finishes really were just top class. And
is that finish is the chipped finesse finish his best finish for Sporting?
Easily.
No, the one against Ajax outside the box.
Yeah. You're right.
That one.
Oh, the header.
It was
the header from like pretty far out.
No, the finesse
shot.
from the left, from his left.
Oh, the long range. Actually, didn't he have 2 long range shots?
Yeah, but one in
another
the
one.
first leg, I think, one in the second leg.
Mm-hmm.
But like the finesse one went top corner was the first leg, I'm pretty sure.
He had one against Besiktas as well, but it was more on the floor.
Yeah, it was.
That Ajax one was nasty.
Yeah. Where was it? I think I'm thinking of Besiktas one when we were already winning. I think it was he put the 4th one on.
Oh yes, you're right. On the first leg, where he like chips the keeper.
Yeah,
not chips him, but like yeah.
The keeper's off his line. Yeah. That
Yes,
I think that was his best one, just because it was so unexpected. It was like running me like Eder at the Euros, but it's like, oh, don't shoot, and then he shoots. It's like, okay, fair enough. But yeah, great performance all around. I think even Matheus Rice was good in this game, but I also thought Benfica were just pretty damn awful. Weigl, who's
look at their rating of their back line.
Yeah, Weigl got a 4.3. Who, to be fair, I think Aljo Almeida was the worst one out of them, but Weigl getting a 4.3 when he's supposed to be better than Paulinho, but couldn't even pocket Ugarte. So.
Facts. I said this on Twitter. I'll repeat it again. Paulinho proved that he's better than Weigl without having to play this game.
Yeah,
easily.
But what Chris was saying beforehand, it was going to be a very different game, and considering how many chances we missed in the first half, I thought it was going to be a replication of the Porto game where we had so many chances, and all it takes is one Luis Diaz screamer. But obviously, it would have been from that Pizzi goal, maybe last minute. That would sort of be like the 1-1 I thought it was going. But as soon as we got that second goal, I wasn't worried anymore. Just an absolute fantastic performance, and probably the best derby performance we've had since the 3-0 before. It was 2015, I believe. But yeah. Chris, who would you put as your man of the match?
It's tough because I think that this might be. It's definitely one of the better Paulinho overall games of his time at Sporting. But I also obviously Matheus Nunes and Ugarte also were fantastic. I'm gonna have to give it to Ugarte because I think that he definitely had the most on his shoulders stepping into the role that he stepped into in the game that he stepped into. He hasn't played that much this season. He's gotten some minutes here or there, but from the start at the Luz is no easy task. So
yeah.
I'm gonna go with him.
Fair
enough. Danny, who would you put as your man of the match?
I'm honestly also tempted between Paulinho, because that was, in my opinion, that was his best performance in a Sporting shirt. Hands down, he was electric. I think he was really good this game. But I'll give it to, I'll agree with goal point, and I'll give it to Matheus Nunes. Goal and an assist. A lot of us were, there was good debate in the summer whether we should keep João Mario or not, whether Matheus Nunes was ready or not, especially seeing as the second last game of the season. Last season was it finished 4-3, but at one point, that midfield really let us down at the luge of Matheus Nunes and Bragança. But Matheus Nunes has basically proven why we decided to keep him and let João Mario go, even if it's to the rivals. That game he was electric. The goal, the run to Paulinho, like we mentioned, was amazing. That third goal, he could have easily sweated to I don't know if it was Pot on the other side or if it was Sarabia, but he takes it himself. Near posts, Audi. What a game! What a game from the kid.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Matheus Nunes. Didn't get any informal FIFA, by the way, for some odd reason. A goal and an assist in like one of the biggest games of the season.
True.
But oh well. I also wanted. It is. We also didn't get.
He deserved a stat boost to his first pace to be like fucking like 92.
They were doing like the team of the tournament for the Champions League as well. Sorry, team of the group stage, and we didn't get a single card as well. So anyway,
how many cards did they give out? More than 11, 18, right?
I'm pretty sure they gave every like a lot of the Champions League ones. So like they gave one to pretty much. Did Benfica get one? I think they might have got one. I'm trying to think.
Who did? How did Pot or Paulinho?
Even
both
Coates.
our UEFA men not get one, or even Coates, dude.
But
or a done, bro. Like all four of those
2 games. That's probably why. Well, I think actually Pot did too. Pot only played 4 games. Even still, 4 games, and I think he has like 4 goals or 5 goals or some shit.
I mean, our other UEFA man has 3 goals, 2 assists. I think he played all the games. I think.
Exactly.
And we went through, so it's like, don't we kind of just got to get one? We just earned a right to have one.
I mean, Ajax obviously got Haller as theirs, which is fair enough.
Of course.
But like, I'm trying to think.
Probably had like 3, honestly.
I can't think of any others. Galeno from Braga got one for like Europa League, obviously, which I thought was a bit, if he's getting one, I mean,
yeah, how is no Sporting player getting one?
Anyway,
tough scene.
Back to the
FIFA's dead. That's why I'm playing PES.
No, that's why I'm playing that weird third game that Sporting endorsed. You know that one?
Oh, yeah. It's not out yet. I don't think
FIFA that's free or some shit like that, right?
Nah, there's like PES FIFA, and this is like something else. Like I'm with whatever that is, bro. I'm riding with that, dude.
I think it's called like eFootball or something.
Oh, I'm with UFR, dude. Fuck FIFA.
I think it's something like that. Ultimate football. Anyway,
it's something. Yeah, I saw Sporting endorse it. I think I think Bruno Fernandes might have enforced it. Someone like who's higher in football also endorsed it. But Matheus Nunes man of the match, but also special shout out to Sarabia. I thought Angel Almeida and Lazaro on strings the whole game. Yeah. And it's like that's what you want from someone who comes in from PSG. So like good all around. Just to note as well, if Pizzi didn't score that goal, I don't think goal point is giving him a 6.7, which leads Benfica's man of the match to be João Mario. But I didn't think he was that good. I don't know about you guys. Thought of João Mario's performance?
He was okay. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he got his ass whooped like the first 10 minutes. And then he was really the only player really dictating their play. But at the same time, that's just what Benfica does. Weigl's there to clean up the mess, and João Mario's there to kind of orchestrate the game. I actually also agree with goal point. I don't think Darwin was that bad. But when it mattered, he was horrible. Let me get that out there. When it mattered, he was horrible. But the rest of the game wasn't that bad. Another thing, on that second goal, Otamendi just kind of gives up and just lets Paulinho go through. I don't know if anybody noticed that.
He's onside by so much. It's not even close.
Exactly. And I think Otamendi, if he makes a sprint, at least if he doesn't get the ball, he's at least putting pressure on Paulinho. But he kind of he's just jogging as Paulinho was just going through. So
I don't think Otamendi sprinted in about 5 years.
That's a good point. But I'm just saying a 4.6. I even think that's generous, dude. I think Otamendi should have gone a 3.8.
Also, there was that Rafa chance where he hit the bar, and that Darwin missed the way he just kicked it. It's like the game could have been very different if those two go Benfica's way. But I mean, definitely a better performance from us, regardless of those two.
They also hit the crossbar. It might have been off a header, off a corner. I think maybe.
Yes, I think that might have been.
Yeah,
and then they had some chances, but it was right at a dime that it was.
Those are the main chances.
Minus the one chance. Facts, and minus the one chance that João Mario got, he could have, a slower key. If João Virginia, and I know we'll get into the Ajax game in a bit, if João Virginia is in that, I think he's letting that goal in. with his slow ass reflexes. But it was a good save from Adan nonetheless. It was kind of into him, but it was still a good save.
I don't know if you guys have any other comments on Benfica game.
No.
I mean,
Benfica fans, unlucky that JJ won today because now he's going to stick around until May.
Yeah, JJ in. They're trying to get him out, but he's stuck in.
Nope. Did you see that website they created? Like every time you clicked on it, it put him further to Flamengo on the map.
Yeah,
that was clever. But
who's bigger Flamengo fans, Benfica or Tondela fans? Tough to say. I guess it depends on if they take him off their hands or not.
I think they probably will. It seems like back to his comfort zone. But anyway, on to...
I think they're about to get a new manager in.
Who? Flamengo or Benfica?
Flamengo. I think because their season starts in December, so I think they're going to get something by the end of the month at least. So JJ's in Benfica, unfortunately.
They might do
until Sergio Conceição
an interim manager.
True.
You reckon JJ's going for the big three?
He's going for the big three.
Oh, he's if Peter Costa's still Braga, there, wasn't he? It's a big four. Was he at Braga?
Braga's big.
Bro, what if Pinto Costa goes to fucking prison in the next year?
Just kidding, Dave.
And then
that's a good point.
And then Vitor Bahia takes over, and then he brings in George Jesus. After he's at Flamengo for a year, and then they bring him back to Portugal. It's just a never-ending cycle of him going to Brazil and then getting called by one of the big three.
I still want to see him in England. That's just something I've got to see.
He'll never do it. I think it's too late.
Yeah,
I think he might have a chance like Spain or in Italy, but I don't think England is.
You know what? He might have a chance in England, but a team that comes up from the Championship.
Bro, he would never want to do that, though, is what I'm saying.
Newcastle should get him.
Who's the coach Warnock, bro. It's he could be a Neil Warnock-ass dude, but, I don't think he wants to manage clubs like that. He wants to manage, the top six.
I think Premier League nowadays is a little different than I think he'll
more like top 10.
Maybe even Wolves. If Lash goes to Benfica, JJ goes to Wolves.
Oh, my God,
I can see him there. But the thing is, yeah, I don't see him go. It would be hilarious to see him in England. I think he goes to England, he gets sacked within 6 months. The fans hate him. His only luck is if they can't really understand him. But the fans will hate him.
They won't understand it. That's literally a given.
Even if they speak Portuguese, bro, they won't understand them.
It's like Marcelo Bielsa has the translator all the time when he does interviews. Just a random English guy who's just okay, I'm just going to translate for you. But, that could be you, Danny. You could make your career in England.
Bro, Jose Mourinho did that.
That's how Mourinho got his start, bro.
Yo, JJ, call me, fam. I'm here to help.
Anyway, on to a more depressing topic. Sporting played Ajax in the Champions League yesterday.
Rest in peace, Gonzalo Inacio.
Yep. And I think Joel Virginia as well.
God damn. 2
awful performances.
God damn.
But anyway, definitely a rotated team from one side, I will say. Joel Virginia in goal, Neto, Inacio, Matheus Reis, Ugarte, Bragança, Esteves, Esgaio, Nuno Santos, Thiago Tomas, and Tabata. And as you can see, Ajax played pretty much their full 11. But Tadic, who I think had a hamstring injury before the game, and they pretty much got a full team out there. The final score was 4-2. Goals from our side were Nuno Santos and Tabata. Haller obviously scored for them a penalty, which we'll get into. But Chris, floor is yours. What were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like the top note summary for this game is a rotated side performed admirably, but in the end, their mistakes were just punished forcefully, multiple times. Just turnovers in your own third that Ajax just decisive made us pay. They're legit, and they can not play that great, concede 2. Yeah, our XG is 1.2. Like I don't think we created 2 goals worth of opportunities, but we definitely took our chances a couple of times. And like just even with that, they were able to account for that and just make it happen. And I think that they won all 6 games in this group, right? So yeah, I mean it's a legit team. It's on the road. There's no fans, honestly. Like which honestly probably, if anything, helped us a little bit by not giving Ajax an extra boost. But if this is a sold out crowd, maybe at the 3-4-1 mark, it takes a turn for the worse, similar to the first leg. But yeah, I thought that we responded well, and I guess not allowing the goleada and Tabata, who I mean definitely had one of his better games, got a chance to play a lot, and definitely made the most of his opportunities. Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate we weren't able to scrape a couple extra million or 2 with a tie or a win, but I mean in the end it's not so sad. It was a happy occasion, and I feel like we spent the last couple minutes of this game just watching Porto get absolutely derailed rather than tune in for the last couple minutes of whatever was happening, the kickabout in Amsterdam.
Yeah, I mean, I think 3.5 is the lowest goal point rating I've ever seen for us, at least.
For us, definitely. I've seen a guy get sent off. Again, maybe it was Nacional. He got sent off within like 20 minutes, and he caused a PK in that. Like, so he got like a 1.8 maybe. But yeah, I mean, Nacional played the whole game, right?
I think the goalkeeper when we played Maritimo, I think it was Charles when we won. Was it 6-7? I think his was worse than 3.5 if I recall. But he also made some pretty impressive saves, even though they did get absolutely battered. But if you don't mind, Dan, I'm just going to take over for a second because there's not really much to say about this game. Really, it was nice to see a rotated team, even if Ajax didn't really get the memo. I think
it's more important to just analyze the individual performances more than anything.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, I'm not going to bash Ajax. They were under no obligation to play a weak team. They wanted the extra money, and they wanted, obviously, the Haller record, which I think is tied now with Cristiano Ronaldo. Every single group stage game with a goal, which definitely is an achievement. Even because, to be honest, he's not that skillful of a player. He's just there. And that's the only reason I can start. He's tall, so wins headers, and he's just always there. But yeah, Braganza penalty, I think it was, even if it is incredibly harsh. But I don't think it's something that, I mean, he goes for the ball and just misses the ball. And
it's a penalty that I don't think that they call at Alvalade against Moreiras. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Portuguese league doesn't catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a good decision.
I think VAR is just fucking. They're fucking maniacs with it, bro. Sometimes you get the benefit, sometimes you get fucked. This time we got fucked.
Yeah, we definitely did get smacked this game. And Lauren put in the chat that she was shocked that I was praising Thiago Tomas. This game, awful. He was so bad. That was honestly the worst.
4.3. Not good, mate. Turnover machine.
It should have been lower than that, if I'm being honest. If Braganza's on 4.7, and I know obviously gave away the penalty and a few mistakes, but Thiago Tomas should have probably been given a Nacional rating. I'm sorry, but he was awful. He had so many chances, like that one. He did a good run, and he just shot it so far wide. And it's like, come on, man, at least hit the target, make the keeper work for it, or square it into Nuno Santos. Just do something. But Nuno Santos as well got the goal, but I thought he was a bit average. But like you said, it's sort of individual player performance over than the team. João Virginia, he literally could have saved that penalty if he just dived. Because you saw he sort of thought about it and was like, no.
Yeah.
And then stuck a hand out on his two. He was literally like that close from saving it.
I think his connection was off and he just lagged a little bit, bro.
Yeah.
Like
heavy lag there. I mean, I honestly didn't think he was like that bad. He did. He doesn't look good on the fourth goal. He made some good saves, but he doesn't look great on the fourth goal. It goes through his legs. He closes the angle perfectly, but just doesn't close his legs enough.
I also don't think he looks confident when he has the ball.
He definitely doesn't look confident. It just seems to me that he's just kind of there because he's there. And if you honestly gave Amorim the choice, like he probably thinks like Diego Calai's better, and he probably would just like have him be the backup. Like you can't just do that, you know. You can't just have like a 17-year-old. It's like you want him to go play and at least be like the starter in the lower levels. You can't just be like having a 17-year-old as your backup. But like that's probably what he wishes he could do, because like I feel like he just like. He's giving him his games here and there against lower league teams. He gave him the Champions League game that doesn't count. But like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Sign this guy for $5 million? You kidding me?
It's stupid as well, because if you look at it, like his stats, I think he was on loan one time out in England, and even then he didn't play a full season. He's not.
Didn't he get on to like Port Vale or some shit like that?
Yeah, one of the lower league teams in England. And I think he made like 2 appearances for Everton, once against Manchester City. And I mean, they still lost, but he played well. But like, he's not had like a full season of games. And like, I really hope we don't exercise this option, because there are much better talents out there. That Samuel Portugal, I think that's what Portimonense was rumored to come for like 2-3 million. And I think he's better than Virginia. So for me, just don't exercise it, please. I don't know if it's like a set amount of games.
If the option was like 1.5, it's like, yeah, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, for 5, it's like you can find goalies for $5 million easily.
Yeah, especially since we gave up Max for that much. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You could probably find one for free on like free agent. Like Willie Caballero just signed for Southampton. I mean, I know he's old, but like, come on,
1 month deal.
Yeah, exactly.
From what I've seen of him, the little I've seen of him, I don't think Andre Paulo is that much worse than.
He's another one. It's like, bro, what are you doing with your life? He feels old. He feels older than 23, bro. How is he in the?
Yeah.
What are you doing, bro? I don't know what his plan is, or like what's good with that. Like, feels like he's just kind of.
I think he's out next season. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is like. I don't even get why you like. The thing is, for me, it's like if you're like 25, 26, like, don't you want to be on like an actual team and not just like be in the sporting program as like the B goalie? Sometimes,
also,
I don't know, bro. Like
Renan on contract, just sitting there.
Dude, what does he do all day, bro? Do you think he lives in Portugal, even, or do you think he just lives in Brazil?
If you follow him on Instagram, he's always doing like exercise on like the training bike or something. He's always doing something. But like,
he didn't loan it. I was under the impression we loaned him out.
Nah, he's still here.
Loan?
He's just chilling.
I don't think we've ever loaned him out.
Yeah, you're right, I guess.
I think his salary is too much for anyone to take a bite. And it's like,
dude, what a fucked up contract, bro. Isn't there still like 2 more years after this?
He's got a lot, I think.
2023. Yep, 2023.
He's not
going to value. Do you guys want to guess what the market value is?
Something worth more than it probably is.
According to Transfer Market. What did you say, Sam?
400,000.
You're not.
That's what it should be.
600,000.
Oh damn! They really are actually being kind of honest about it. Yeah, I mean he's worthless, dude.
Yeah,
but why don't we just give him a shot? Like, I mean, I thought I never liked him.
Give him a shot, bro. He hasn't played like in anything in like 2 years.
Yeah. To be fair, João Virginia didn't play either, bro. This guy went to Everton and Arsenal just to do a tour, bro.
You think Virginia like looks like he kind of has like the skitters, bro? Imagine Renan in a Champions League game.
Renan single-handedly won us a Taça de Liga.
Exactly.
He deserves some more respect.
Put some respect on his name, Renan.
Yo, this moment also gets forgotten in history a lot. He was told to warm up I think it was last season,
wasn't it?
2 seasons ago. He was told to warm up in the Final Four for the PKs. But then Paulinho scored a late header. I think we were playing Braga.
Was it I thought it was Porto.
It might have been
always
Porto, bro.
Porto in the Taça de Liga.
Yeah, we lost.
With Jovan scoring the 2? No,
it's when we lost.
I remember he was lost. Come to take a penalty.
Oh,
he was warming up to get subbed in like the 94th to be the goalie for penalties because there's no extra time.
But then that was Pontes, wasn't it? Was that his last?
Yeah, but then we conceded. It had to have been after he did the heroics already. The heroics, I think, were 2018-19.
Yeah, it was.
And then we won last season, so it had to have been the season in between.
That was the season when they rotated him and Max quite a lot.
Yeah.
That was like Max's breakout season.
Yeah. So he was warming up, bro, and they just score. And like they're celebrating, like mobbing like the goal scorer, and he's just like walking back because that's like right where he like warmed up. He did legit one jog down the sideline, like got loose, instantly concede.
I do remember that. I can't remember what team it was, but I do remember that. But
good times, off track, sidebar.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Danny,
Banan.
take it away, Danny. The floor is yours.
Bro, what are we even talking? No, I'm kidding. So yeah, I think most of the goals conceded, I should say, are fault. You know, I mean, the penalty I think is a penalty, harsh, but a penalty. Like we said, Virginia lags. Their second goal where Inacio, that's the thing. I don't know if Inaciu's just not passing it back to Virginia because there's a defender that can press, an attacker, I should say, from Ajax that can press Virginia. I don't know if it's a lack of confidence in his footwork because, it's not the greatest. But yeah, I definitely at fault for that. Unlucky. Neto a little bit at fault for it as well. Trying to think more so of highlights, man, because I mean, obviously it wasn't that great of a game, but this is a rotated squad against a non-rotated squad, like you said, Sam. I liked Stivs, actually. I get why we brought Ishgayu, don't get me wrong, and Stivs is very young, a lot to grow, but for 17 years old, he's looking good. Little Nazi came on as well and made a decent cameo.
Well, I cannot condone that nickname.
And so our youngest Champions League appearances from those two, it was from
Estevez and Asugu.
Yeah.
In one game, we broke 2 records.
Exactly. So I didn't see enough
our
of
own
Asugu, really.
Yeah,
Dinamo Zagreb's put like a 15-year-old in, I think.
Yeah. And I'm sure Mbappe started young at like Monaco. He was like 16 and like 5 days old or some shit like that.
It was a good record to break as well because Simao was the last one of being like the youngest. So now we don't have to mention him anymore.
Erased from our history.
Exactly.
Love that. But yeah, I like the Stivs a lot. I think once Poru eventually leaves, hopefully it's not this season. Hopefully we buy him and then after the end of the summer, like summer 2023, we sell him. We have 2 good right backs in Ishgayu and Stivs, and hopefully Stivs by like 19-20 actually takes that role. By the balls and is really our starting right back because the kid has loads of potential. Even Ishgayu, I didn't mind Ishgayu so much on the left. I thought he had a decent game as well for what this game was.
Leads the team in assists.
Yeah, true. And against Benfica, one thing we didn't mention, what did he do? Is the 100th win for Sporting or something like that?
No, 100th win as a player in general in like professional games.
That's it?
Yeah.
Or like only he's been a professional.
Bro, he was
like
on the
10
team
years.
in 2012 and 13.
As in like when he's appeared. So like when he's come on, like or when he
was like a starter at Braga.
They didn't win that much.
Yo, Dave. Sorry, man. I know you
20 some odd a season. He was there for a couple seasons.
That's true. Okay, his 100th win as a player. Wow. Okay, I thought it was his 100th.
Dude, when he played for Sporting, he won like enough. 12. He won like 10 games as a player.
Yeah, true. He didn't play that much, to be fair.
I'm sure it's 100 as a player because I don't think he's even reached 100 appearances at Sporting yet.
Yeah.
Good point. That's a great point. So shout out to Ishgayu. I thought he did well, and then of course Tabata. Something I mentioned every now and again. I think Tabata deserves a few more minutes. I don't know if it's been injury or what it's been that's really kept him out of the side. We've seen. I like Nuno Sancho. Don't get me wrong, but we see Nuno Sancho is coming in instead of him on the wing. We see Tiago Tomas coming in a lot more than Tabata, and Sam and a lot of other Sporting fans have a gripe against Tiago Tomas. I can't defend him. I don't know if it has something to do with lack of playing minutes that he's down this bad.
People
I don't remember him being this
like
bad.
The age, like he's 19 or 18, but it's like it doesn't matter. Like if you're good enough to play, you'll play, right? Like
Facts.
Nuno Mendes, Inacio.
He's definitely more out of form this season because he plays a lot less. So it's just like compounding at this point, I feel like.
Exactly. So that's the thing that I'm unsure about with Tiago Tomás, if it's just a lack of talent, which I don't think it is, because from that first half of last season, I thought the kid was good. I was fucking comparing him, very minusculely. I said he reminds me. I was comparing him to Levzinho.
Henry, bro. He's
having,
linked to Arsenal, dude. He's the next Henry.
He's the next Henry. I'm having a howler right now with that one, but it is what it is. At least I'm not saying, who did they used to compare Renato to Eusebio. So at least I'm not that bad. But yeah, I think Tabata. I think he's after this game he'll get a lot more minutes. I think Amorim is gonna count on Tabata more than Tiago Tomás. Aside from that, it's a whatever game. We were through. We didn't need the result. It would be nice to have it, but we didn't need it, which is great. Matheus Reis, another solid performance. I don't think he's put a foot wrong. And the only thing I wanted to show off is I have a scarf from the 5-1 win, so I'm glad it wasn't 5-1. So yeah, man, showing this off.
Half and half
and half scarf. I want it to be the half and half wanker. I don't have a half and half scarf yet until now.
I literally don't think I own one either.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you got one of the worst games they've ever played.
Horrible. I think we lost 5-1 because the universe was like.
Did you buy the scarf before or after the game?
Before.
It's your fault.
I was waiting with Kevin and Lauren, and we were just Kevin. I was waiting to meet up with Kevin. But I was with Lauren, and I was like, okay, I need to get a half and half scarf. So the universe was punishing me because I bought that one for like 12 euros.
Hey man, at least you probably supported small business.
I did. I supported it. Fucking the cat was like walking all over the scarves too. But bought that one for like 12 euros. We're fucking waiting to get in, or we're just chilling out, and some guy selling the exact same scarf for like 5 euros. So that's the universe punishing me twice. It is what it is.
Hate to see it, man.
Hate to see it. But yeah, I'll give my man of the match real quick, and it's Tabata. Easy one.
Yeah, Chris, man of the match.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to give it to anyone that's not Tabata. There's just really not that many performances that were that noteworthy. Yeah, Tabata.
I'm gonna go Esteves just because I thought his first proper start in a big game. It's Ajax definitely not an easy opponent. So I'll give it to him. Just two more things I want to get on before we move on. Is that I wish I would have seen Jose Marcio instead of Inacio.
Yeah.
I feel like Inacio could have used the rest. And Tiago Tomás does not score on the pitch, but as we've seen on Twitter and Instagram DMs, he definitely scores outside the pitch.
Yo, Sam, you need to stop calling our players out, bro. That's the second one. First, Sarabia. You're exposing Sarabia. Now, Kid. Let my boys eat.
Nah, dude, it is not exposing him if the person who received the message exposes them herself.
Dirty.
Whether or not she's trying to or not.
I'm just glad I haven't slid in her DMs yet, because sometimes when I'm drunk, I get reckless. But thank God those days of long.
If you're Tiago Tomás, she'll respond as we know. You're not Tiago Tomás, though, unfortunately.
But I'm Danny Saldana from the 160EN podcast, bro. You don't think I have some pull?
We don't have the juice like that, man.
Let's give it a go.
I don't have the juice like that?
If we were 160, we would have that.
Yeah, we would have the juice like that. Yeah. We like the 2.0. You're not wrong. We're not wrong.
Yeah. We like the ugly stepchild of the whole thing. And also not rated on Twitter by many people, especially when we talk about finances, which we've done.
Also on Instagram, you know how they used to show you, you used to be able to go to a tab that would show you what likes a person does. So it's like, Danny liked this and 7 others. And you could just see all 8 of the photos that Danny liked in the last 20 minutes or whatever. Low key, that was a crazy. I think that feature's now gone.
Danny's long back.
But that was the what we did with the Sarabia thing, but on steroids. Because imagine if it's Sarabia like the Wandas and 6 others. What do you think those 6 others would be? It's probably all chicks.
All I'm saying, Sarabia did not like any pictures with the kids in, with any other person. It was just her. And I was
strategic marketing, let's go.
And then when they got back together, not a single like again. So
I rate him, bro. I rate him.
Yeah, I rate him too.
I also rate Tiago Tomás. Let me just say, if I was Tiago Tomás, I'd be a lot more reckless. So luckily, the universe didn't bless me with those talents.
I mean, there's still time for Tiago Tomás to accidentally go to the wrong DMs, you know. But I think Sarabia's. I mean, you could just justify his used to play for PSG, probably friends with Icardi, but
yeah, that's what it is.
The pictures he was I'm just saying. But yeah.
Also, I have one more conspiracy, and I think Lauren honestly might have briefly mentioned it in the comments. The Ruben Vinagre injury. Is there a conspiracy to not play Ruben Amorim so that we don't have to auto trigger the clause? Is my guy really out for 2-3 weeks with a slightly rolled ankle in training?
I think he's just got PTSD. That's like a lifelong thing. Again, especially Ajax, man. He probably couldn't even watch this game.
Yeah, 100%. I seen it live, dude. He got.
We'll see. We'll see if he comes back in any of the more upcoming games. If he's not back by the end of the year, there's a conspiracy. I'll say
if he doesn't play the Taça against Casapia, there is a conspiracy. But I'm leaning more towards that because
maybe that game doesn't count.
I think it maybe. But also, I think that you're right because originally we bought Marca as a center back, and then all of a sudden he's a left back, and all we hear is, we're trying Marca out at left back. We're trying Marca out at left back. This game we played Ishgaio at left back instead of Marca, so maybe he's not ready yet. We'll see. But
and we're giving Nazinho minutes. I know he's got
Nazinho exactly,
but other than preseason, no one spoke about it until Vinagre had such a poor game. So
exactly,
you might be on something there.
I think so.
Anyway, Danny, you have got you've got the round of 16 potential opponents, I believe.
Yes. And quick shout out because you were just about to say it. Under 19s, the youth league basically. Sporting made it through in our league, in our group as well, ahead of Ajax, if I'm not
mistaken. For the first time ever, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, how it works is the first is automatically through, and then the second goes into the playoff. So. Yeah, we're automatically through. We fucking turned the group result around, and Ajax went out. Ajax went from winning the group to being out, in the 88th minute. Yeah. Tough luck for them.
Who finished second? Was it Dortmund?
Dortmund snuck in above them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, tough shit, Ajax. Well, but fuck you.
I think their seniors team will be fine.
Yeah, their seniors team.
Did you know they've only conceded 2 goals in the league and they've scored 48? That is incredible.
They've actually dropped a bunch of points in 0-0s then.
Yeah.
Because I think they have multiple 0-0s. They have a couple of draws for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So all those goals are draws, 1-1s.
Yeah. I think they lost the game against PSV, if I'm not mistaken.
I think there's only 3 points separating first, second, and third as well. So, but 48-2 is still crazy.
It's a lot, yeah. All right, so our possible adversaries for the next round, we'll figure it out December 13th, which is a Monday, next Monday. So we got Man City who topped their group, avoided PSG in that group. Liverpool who topped theirs, Atleti as we mentioned. Basically beating Porto in the brawl of the century, call it WrestleMania. Bayern Munich in first. We might catch Bayern again, which Benfica caught. Real Madrid we might catch, who topped their group with the likes of Inter and Sheriff. Man United finished top of their group. The last 3 I think are the more salivating ones for us, but Man United topped their group. We'll figure out second place tomorrow because there was snow. I don't know if it was in Real or if it was in Atlanta, but that game got delayed. Juve beat Malmo today while Chelsea tied against Zenit. So they actually get first, which is pretty good news for us. And then, of course, in the group that was anything to be decided on, Lille beat Wolfsburg 3-1. So we can catch Lille. Shout out to Jonathan David, who topped their group with Salzburg actually making it through, beating Sevilla. who Sevilla should just get relegated to Europa League anytime they're in the Champions League. But Sam, I'll give it to you first. Who do you think? Who would you prefer to get, and who do you actually think we're gonna get?
For me, this is almost top to bottom, almost like the order that I would want.
Yeah, I think Bancada probably did that on purpose. No, that's actually how
except for maybe Bayern is the least that I would want. I would just put Bayern at the end, and that's probably the exact order.
I don't want, if we get Bayern or Liverpool, we might as well just go home because, like, I mean, we're not going.
Dude, we can shithouse Liverpool, bro. We can't shithouse Bayern.
Mo Salah for Liverpool this season, incredible. Against Matheus Reis or against, I don't know, or maybe, but against Matheus Reis.
Oh my god,
I mean, bro! He plays against like fucking random dudes who play for Southampton every week.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. But is a random dude better than
Reis could slide in and fucking left back, bro, in the Southampton team, dude.
I believe in a Reis masterclass, but only one out of the possible 2 games.
Does a masterclass count as like a 90-minute goal to make it like 7-1?
No, like a masterclass, like he Salah's in his back pocket, you know, one of those with Sadio Mane on his side pocket because they'll like to fucking switch flanks every now and again.
The team I want the most is honestly Man United. I mean, I think Lille was an easier opponent and maybe Juventus too, but I think just for like the national coverage and beating United. Like when Porto beat Juventus last year, like everywhere it was like, oh my god, Porto this, Porto that, and like Ajax when they beat good teams on the way to their semi-final. I think beating Man United, although they did look okay in their last game, and they've
I'm telling you, dude, they're gonna be fine, and they have they still have the cheat code, dude, on their team, bro, who's still mad annoying, even if he is fucking slightly washed.
We have a cheat code in Pot though. Pot could drop a stinker into score and win this game. Give me Man United. Trust me, I'm feeling it. Of the two, I would. There's not one who I wouldn't want more. Just not Liverpool or Bayern. I would even take Man City over those two, to be honest. Just because they got some Benfica boys in there, opportunity for some 2-footed tackles.
Good point.
Yeah. Kick Edison in the face with his shit tattoos.
Fuck happy. I wouldn't want them though. So yeah, those top 4. I'm with you, Chris and Sam. I want to stay away from that top 4. Man United, I wouldn't mind, but it just depends. I think February they'll be better, man. And then it's also Ronaldo, bro. Like I'm not gonna fight history. Like he's just gonna score against us.
I would also actually take Real Madrid. You know, they lost to Sheriff, and I know like whatever you say, they weren't at their best. I think we could give Real Madrid a game.
Maybe. I mean, Barcelona going to Europa League makes me more believe, but
the fact between Real Madrid and Juventus, I'm pretty sure it would be like the same game, really, like the same amount of chance to beat both.
Maybe I'd put Madrid just slightly ahead of Juve, just because Juve's been pretty shite this season. I don't even think they're the top 4 right now in Italy. They lost their best player. Sure, it'll still be tough. I think we'll still be underdogs, but that works for us. Lille, I honestly, I even think Lille would be a tough opponent for us because we'll be like matched with them, and Lille are very pacey.
They'll be evenly matched. Yeah,
there's no easy opponent to get.
Of course. But I think Lille, or I'm with you, Sam, Man United. But actually, I think Juve would be easier than Man United. Lille or Juve would be perfect for me. I'll take my odds against them.
I think United are worse than Juve.
Yes, I agree. But then Ronaldo and Bruno. I see Bruno scoring against us. That's the other problem.
But Paulinho.
Fucking half-court.
UEFA man himself, Paulinho. Scored more than Bruno Fernandes has in the
Dude, UEFA man, I feel like is actually not the man you want in a game where you're just trying to shithouse and get like 2 chances. It's like he's not gonna score on his 1 chance. He needs like 7 to score usually.
Facts. But we'll have Pot. Pot only really needs 1.
Sure, yeah, he's who you need the chance to fall to.
Yeah. I'll take Juve. I'll take an away trip to Italy, though.
Cool. I think that will be that for that topic. I'm just trying to get my other screen up, but it's being stupid. Cool. This news broke earlier today. Gonzalo Plata, on a drink driving incident, was actually over the legal limit by double what he's supposed to be, I believe. You can see that was the damage done to the taxi that he crashed into. I mean, obviously, hope everyone's okay. But definitely very stupid on Plata's part to be even like, I've always been under the assumption that even if you're like a tiny bit over the limit, you shouldn't drink, but like to be double, you obviously know like the dangers you cause. And like,
also, I think it was at 6:45 a.m., which is a late fucking night. That's a late night / early morning. So yeah, he was having a crazy fucking night. That's for sure. Definitely shouldn't have been driving.
It's pretty early in Europe though. They only leave the club at around 8. I don't know about a Tuesday.
Yeah, bro. Also, it's Tuesday, my guy. Like, what was going on? He's having an insane night, dude. It's 6:45, like Wednesday, bro. Don't you have training or something, bro?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Are you really gonna turn? Was he expecting to turn up to training in that condition?
Yeah, he needs to get his shit together. Clearly, I mean, he's gonna lose his like license now for like 6 months probably at least.
Yeah, I mean, he's lucky someone wasn't in that taxi because like to go that speed to flip a taxi.
Yeah. Oh, it was just parked.
Very lucky. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was parked because
he should probably pay and get that, because a lot of these taxi guys own their own car and they're kind of like responsible to whatever happens to it. So he should definitely fucking pay to get that dude's livelihood fixed up, because it's just
it wasn't parked. It says here that he smashed into a taxi whose driver was taken to the hospital along with a female passenger. So it must have been. I don't know if there's anything about them being
the state of them. Yeah, I was asking Danny about that earlier, as if we know if the people are okay or not, or even if Plata's okay or not.
It says here, according to the information we have, are in good condition. So
that's good.
Lucky everyone's like good, but that's a better picture of the taxi flipped over. So definitely going some sort of too fast to do that.
Yeah, idiot.
People on Twitter are like, oh, like if he wants to play for Sporting, he should get his head together. It's like, but it's not about us. Like,
people make mistakes. Also, like people choose to make bad choices, and like any random night, we could all wake up the next morning and see this news on on the A4, and it could have been any of our players, bro. Like, it's just like you never fucking know, and people just make bad choices. Like, and people also make the choice to do this and like get away with it also, and like we never hear about it. It's never a story. Like, you just get home, you don't hit anybody, you park, like no one ever knows, right? So I don't think people need to overly kill him while also understanding like it's a horrible decision. Like, don't ever do that. But like, I don't think it's like a greater statement of his character or anything like that. I think it's just a poor decision on a night of heavy drinking.
I would be surprised if they didn't terminate his loan though, because like I don't know if he's been that good for them.
It's the type of thing that you kind of if he's a permanent, maybe you deal with it internally, but he has honestly been contributing a little bit more recently. So that's the only thing. I think he has like 6 goals. Which, as far as the Sporting loan players, like you look at their stats, like it's among the better.
Yeah, they might not trigger his buyout clause now. Maybe
I don't know if they have one. That's the thing.
I thought they did for like 10 million or something.
Oh, you're right. They do. You're right.
I thought that was Joe Olsen. I thought that wasn't Plata. I thought he didn't have one.
It's both. I think they do have. I think they both have one.
Yeah,
but it will be interesting to see. I didn't think of that. They could terminate his loan. It could be our problem again. What do we do with him?
I just don't know. I just don't know the Spanish laws. Like I'm in Canada, at least. I'm assuming the States as well. I'm assuming the UK as well. For an accident that bad and blowing twice over, you might see some jail time. You know what I mean?
Nah, he'll get a good lawyer and stuff. He'll get a suspended
that's
sentence.
true.
They don't usually do that.
I'm just saying, like, and in Europe, like, fuck, I have uncles that he's only in house arrest now, but yeah, he's had like 6 DUIs. So you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
Europe
he's gonna get a first offender.
Thing.
He's gonna have a good lawyer. I don't think he'll serve jail time, but he'll definitely. If he does it again, that's a different story. If he does it again, like within the year, but he'll get definitely like a 6 months license is probably what he'll get, and some like community service and fines, I'm guessing.
I believe the law in Spain anyway is that if you commit a crime that's like an under 2-year sentence, you don't have to serve it. So I think it would probably be under 2 years, but it also depends on how bad the injuries caused were. So like, for example, if one of them was like paralyzed or something,
yeah, exactly.
Like that would, to me, would probably
that make it way worse, but it seems like that's not the case, at least for now.
Yeah, from what
which he's lucky. He's obviously lucky about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just trying to scored 4 goals apparently. But yeah, there's really nothing else on this story. Obviously, hope the 2 in hospital are well, and you know, Plata is an idiot, but like you make a mistake and you have to live with the consequences, and whatever those will be, they will be. So, Chris, if you have any sort of loose ends or modalities, take it away.
Yeah, I just had a couple random like news stories from the past week that I've just gathered from our Twitter feed. Pavillon João Rocha reduced the capacity to 1,000 for the month of December because of like the new pandemic restrictions in Portugal. Indoor events with over 1,000 people, you need to present digital certificate and test. And if it's under 1,000 or 1,000 and under, you don't need a test. So in order to try to keep the crowds like as good as they can and make it as accessible as possible, they're doing it so that you don't have to have a test basically, and you can just have your digital certificate. You'll be good to go. We'll see if that extends past December. Obviously, clearly it's impossible to predict this shit. We mentioned him briefly on the pod. He got a rare shout out. Lionel Ponce. He was actually just hired with by Sporting160EN. He's tasked with saving them. I think they're a couple points above the drop zone in the Segunda Liga. So worth keeping an eye on Cuvilhã to see if our man Lionel Ponce can turn them around. Sporting legend.
Might as well. And Miguel Lopes just signed with Estrela Amadora to add on to like the 15 other players that have some sort of connection to Sporting. Like Alfonso Figueiredo's there and shit like that. So another one.
Yeah, Miguel Lopes signed today. Bruno Gaspar, it seems like his loan buy clause will not be activated, but Whitecaps seem interested in keeping him and renegotiating another loan. So, LOL, I guess. Shakir Smith from the basketball team last season, who left and went and signed for an Icelandic team this past offseason, is coming back to Sporting. I truthfully do not know what happened for him. Clearly it didn't go well. I don't know. Didn't like the coach, didn't like the team, whatever. Something happened, clearly. Isn't there anymore. He's coming back to Sporting. Well-connected Cinco is back. So, yeah, I think that's an objectively good thing. Fidel's out 4 weeks. Kind of adds on to our injury list. Some of the injuries on the injury list may be fake, as we discussed earlier. But nonetheless, I think his is real. Ruben Amorim, this actually came out today too. I think Ruben Amorim turned down an approach from Red Bull Leipzig. We kind of mentioned a couple pods ago, like any like top 20 team in Europe job that opens up, especially in like the top 3 leagues, Amorim's going to be linked to it. And sure enough, one of the first ones that opens up, Red Bull Leipzig, and he's linked to it. So my man is going to get some phone calls. If he truly stays at Sporting for like 3-4 more years, he's going to field a lot of phone calls over those years. So let's just hope he keeps saying no. Also, Sporting was one of 7 clubs fined by UEFA this week. Apparently, I don't know the specifics of what goes into what debts and what payments need to be paid. But Sporting was hit with a 250K fine, which is the second most out of any of those 7 clubs fined, for having like too many outstanding payments for both player salaries, like agents, and like if you like, as we know, like Sporting has like millions and millions of outstanding debts to players, agents, former players. Like, bro, we owe at least, probably off the top of my head, like probably like 20 million. So just like random people from the last like 5 years, like alone. So like, I don't know what we need to do to get that payment structure, to get those debts, or what specific debts we need to get settled by the January 30th deadline. But if we don't, we're suspended from UEFA competition for 3 years. I'm guessing whatever we need to do to move numbers around on the spreadsheet to make that happen is going to happen, because I mean, if we get banned for 3 years, that's fucking scandal. Like,
that's what I thought the deal with Porto was going to be. That's what I thought it was.
Porto's in the same thing. So there's
Exactly.
7 clubs. Basically, it's you get this fine now, and then you have until January 30th to get it sorted. Us, Porto, and Santa Clara were 3 of the 7 were Portuguese. And then I think that there was a Serbian club, another Eastern European club, a club from Gibraltar has like got a 10K fine. So I think the scale of the fine goes to the scale of how bad the situation is. So the Gibraltar club only got a 10K fine. We got a 250K fine. Porto got 275. Porto got the most. So like, basically, whatever they need to do, I'm guessing they're going to do it, but they have like 2 months to do that. So worth tracking. And then other thing, this came out, I guess was finalized yesterday. About a week ago, it was announced that the loan that they were seeking was increased to 40 million, where they were like, oh, they got to increase demand. They have a lot of investors that are interested. We wanted to raise 30. We're actually looking to raise 40 now. Turns out in the end, they actually ended up raising 53 million. So 8 million came from like small investors. I mean, some of them are small, like people who invested like 1 to 5K. I have the stats here. So of the 8 million that came from small investors, 3,336 investors, 56% invested 2 to 5K. So that's more than half of those people invested 2 to 5K. So that's like in the range of like somewhat like normal people like you and me, you know, who want to invest in the fund to get a bond loan and sport thing. 21% invested 10K plus, and 20% invested up to 50K, and then 3% invested 50K plus. If you're one of those people that are the 3% invested 50K plus, hit us up, bro.
What sort of interest rates are they giving back, bro?
5.25.
That's the interest rate?
Yeah.
That's not. Yeah, I'll take that. It's like a really low fucking. I'll take it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it adds up when you have 53 million to pay back. But
that's what I'm gonna say. That's probably a risky fucking. Now that I think of it, that's a risky investment. No guarantee Sporting's paying that back. What do you mean?
Yeah,
we're just gonna use another loan to pay that loan.
So of those like small investors, that accounted for 8 million, and then 26 million came from banks. So there was a distinction here. So 26 million from the banks, and then the other 19 million from other financial entities. So I guess that means like hedge funds, like different like groups where it's like blah 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 group, and it's like a an investment fund or stuff like that, because they're financial entities, but they're not like banks per se. So I guess there's the differentiation there. But yeah, I guess the point in case here is a majority of this 53 million comes from banks and big investors. But I guess shout out to the 8 million that was put up by relatively small investors. A lot of them, like at least a couple thousand of the 3,000 were small investors, 1 to 5K. I mean, it's a reasonable investment. So yeah, I hope that your investment works out, everyone. And I hope that Sporting is able to pay you back on time. 3 years from now, 2024. And I think those are my loose ends. Oh, I guess we can jump to modalities too while we're here. There's not that many. It's only 1 week's worth. So handball's had a couple games. They played Eurofarm Pellister. for the European League. We also played them today as well. Lost today 31-25 and tied them at home last week 27-27. And then in between, we beat Aguas Santas in the league 31-26. Futsal won all. Well, they won 2 of their first 3 Europa Futsal Elite Round group stage games. And then they tied the last one, which was a little bit sus because both teams had 2 wins going into the last game. And what was on the line was a spot in the Champions League Final Four, which is obviously somewhere our futsal team always wants to be. And we tied. So both teams in the group ended up finishing with 7 points, but we had a better goal difference because we smacked the other 2 teams more. And we won 8-2 in one of the games. So that ended up putting us into the Final Four. But yeah, into the Final Four on goal difference. All that matters is that we're in the Final Four. And then today we beat CR Condozu for the league 3-2. Futsal team's done a good job. They've had a lot of games, a lot of competitions, and like they've been rotating the team a lot for some of these league games, especially giving youngsters debuts and shit. Futsal team is operating a lot like the senior team is. They just seem to have like an endless pipeline that's just able to get the job done, and they just are able to churn out results against like fully professional teams. If they've, coming back from Slovakia, you have 1 day rest and then another game, you need depth, hella depth for that. And we have it, bro. We have fucking class futsal team, best in the world. Hockey, 2 wins, 8-1 against San Joens, 4-1 against Pared. Basketball, 78-67 win against Oliveirense. And this game was then marked by racist, like this story was in and out of the news within like 5 seconds. I'm shocked it even like got in at all. Like Micah Downs was the one that brought attention to it. And there's like a video of it too, like Oliveirense fans like being racist to Sporting players after the game. Absurd. I don't even know if the Portuguese Basketball Association's even made a statement. I definitely don't think there's been any sanctions issued. They're just kind of hoping it goes away. So I'm actually glad that I'm talking about it now, a couple of days after the incident, to remind you that this happened. And just kind of, they're just churning on, it seems like. So I guess we'll keep an eye on if there's any sanctions or anything regarding this game. But yeah,
if they're anything like the Portuguese Football League, then it's going to be 3 years, and then they're going to come up with something, and they're going to be like, actually, never mind. So
yeah, or they'll give a closed stadium thing that they just keep fighting in court for like 7 years, and then it just
a closed stadium during a
pandemic. During a pandemic, yeah. Like they did for Guimarães.
Yeah, so it's a joke. If there even is that at all, if they even pretend to do anything. And then today, for the first game of the second round of the group stage for the FIBA Europe Cup, we won against Trefl Sopot, 83-72. Great start to the group, 1-0. Benfica's in our group. We'll have them twice. So yeah, I'm happy about that. U23's lost to Portimonense. Typical. B team tied Oriental Dragon 0-0. My favorite team name in the Terceira League. Oriental Dragon FC, fucking swaggy ass name. And then youth league, as you already know, we won 3-2 against Ajax, late winner, put us into the quarterfinals. And then the ladies for the league won 3-1 against Maritimo. And then for the Taça da Liga today, they played against Vila Verdense and they won 3-0. That is leg 1. Taça da Liga with multiple legs in the quarterfinals couldn't be the singers, but the singer men, but good for them, I guess, having like an actual like competition. But for the men, there's just too many games. Taça da Liga. Taça da Liga is 2-game group stage and a Final Four and final. So if you win the tournament, the most games you'll play is 4. So incredible.
Shout out.
I guess in theory, if you qualify, you could play up to 2 more. If you're one of like the Segunda Liga teams that has a couple qualifying games, and then you somehow go all the way. But yeah, for Sporting, it's a 4-game trophy.
Cool. Was that it on modalities? Is that all done? Cool.
Yep.
Just before we go, we've got. I'll just show you the current league table. I've gone very white because it's on my second screen, and it is very bright, as you'll see in a minute. Just get it out. All white background is why I'm so pale, and I'm also English. So, as we can see, still joint on points with Porto. Porto ahead on goal difference, 33-22. Benfica in third, Braga in fourth. Estoril Portuguese, and the rest you can see for yourself. I believe we play Boavista next round of the League of Win. Ironic because the last time we played them, we became champions of Portugal. First time in 18 years, something like that. Danny, what are your predictions for the Boavista game?
Another win. Maybe I'm going to go with a 2-0. Sporting are flying high. Nobody can really start our starting 11 or stop our starting 11. Goal from Pot, and I'll give it to João Paulo.
Go on, Chris. What about your predictions?
Yeah, I'm just looking here. I mean, they have 2 dubs on the season, bunch of draws. It's kind of a mediocre side. Obviously, a lot of these games are tough and similar no matter what the team's record is. They all play similarly against the bigger clubs. So I'm not going to bet against us, and I definitely don't think we're going to concede. I'm going to go 1-0. Back to the Sofrido Vitórias, but it's still going to be the 3 points in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go exactly as it was last season, and that was a 1-0 victory with a Paulinho goal. I think the players probably be tired. I know we didn't play our full team against Ajax, but there were some starters. Inacio, Paulinho obviously came on. Same with Pot. It's definitely going to be some tired legs, and I reckon this is going to be the game, just a 1-0. And I think we had a lot of them last year. It was like a 1-0 win, and I'll take those 3 points to 3 points. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with a Paulinho goal as well, just for sort of a history repeat. But I was trying to look on my phone, but it's decided to restart. Do you know Benfica and Porto's next opponents by any chance?
I do not, unfortunately.
Have a look.
I can Google it, though.
I need a new phone. Just randomly restarts out of nowhere. Famalicão away for Benfica. A tough game, but Famalicão looked awful this year. So,
Porto Braga.
Ooh, is that away to Braga or at home?
It's home for Porto.
A tough game still. Braga haven't really looked good, great this year either.
We'll play first, so hopefully they'll be having to looking to need to match our result. It's harder that way for them, in my eyes. If you go first and get the result,
I could definitely see both teams dropping points. Famalicão obviously need to fight to sort of make their way up the table, and they've been. I think they lost 4-0.
They just got battered. They just got battered by Gil Vicente 4-0, right?
Yeah. So they obviously want to come with a win, and playing away at Famalicão seems to be hard enough for Sporting. So hopefully they make it harder for Benfica as well.
They have random good games and they have random dog shit games. I guess hopefully they have a random good game. A lot of those random good games are against us, though. I will say that.
I always never get if it's they're playing better against us or it's just we have a bogey team mentality.
They have to be playing better against us.
I think, but then if you watch when we played them, was it Taça Liga, Taça Portugal, where we won last minute? I think that was just us being stupid at the last sort of 10, 15 minutes. I think it was
which one, the Varzim game?
When we played them in, was it in Taça Liga or Taça Portugal? When we actually beat them for once.
Oh, there you go. That's for Taça Liga.
When did he throw it away in the last minute?
Yeah. That we if it wasn't the courage of the referee, we would have thrown it away because he had to disallow a very marginal offside goal in the 90th minute without VAR, and he did it, and it was correct, but he still had to do it,
Yeah.
To stick the flag up, knowing that you're deciding who goes through, and you have no backup,
Unlucky for them, but it's no secret that I dislike Famalicão very much, and I feel like all sporting fans should, because if they go down, let's say then they're more likely to sell us the rest of Potts contract clause, which I think they still have 50%. And same, Ugarte, I think they have 50% as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, definitely want them to go down, or at least have such a poor season that they need to.
Yeah, go down. Go down definitely gives us more leverage in that 50%. Especially if we don't, if we resist selling for another summer, they're like, oh, we'll just wait for the big payday then. But then if we don't sell them, it's like their club is just like fucked, you know? They need money at that point.
I'm fairly sure their president pretty much said, yeah, we're not selling, like, because they know what. I think they have to sell another 50% for 8.5 million, where they know we're going to sell him for at least 40, and they're going to make that back straight away. So we'll make double that. So, but if they go down, you know, it's definitely a different scenario, I think. But I think that is all we have time for. Danny had to run off. He had some business to take care of, so Danny has gone. But thank you for joining us, Danny, as always. Chris, same to you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for everyone who is watching in the stream and who watches on YouTube, Spotify. Be sure to follow us on Spotify, Sporting160_EN. Same with Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and SoundCloud. If you have any questions for the next podcast or just in general, feel free to either DM us on Twitter or tweet us. And yeah, Viva Sporting.